I'm Alex Lawson, filling in for Thom, and we are going to keep this discussion on the greedy pharmaceutical corporations going, talking about one of the most exciting ways that we can fight back. I'm joined on the line by Garry South, the lead strategist on Yes on 61, Proposition 61 in California. Garry, thanks so much for joining us.
Great to be on, Alex.
So, Garry, I'm just, I have here in front of me this op-ed that I think it came out just today, right?
It was, yes, the op-ed by Senator Sanders was published in this morning's Los Angeles Times.
Let me just take I'm looking at it. This is fantastic. So Bernie Sanders, stand up to Big Pharma greed, vote yes on Proposition 61. And, you know, it's just a really straightforward recitation of how bad the industry is and how Proposition 61 is just a very straightforward way that we can fight back. I want you to tell us about it. I want you to tell us how we're doing on Proposition 61. I should say that I'm the executive director of Social Security Works, and we have endorsed Proposition 61, and we are doing everything that we can to have Proposition 61 pass, because we see it as a very perfect first step in our fight back against the pharmaceutical industry. And I want you to tell us about the details, Garry, and what's going on. But there's this number that I think really stands out to me. It's $109 million. And $109 million, what is that number?
The drug companies are fully funding the No on 61 campaign, as you can probably imagine. They just, on the 19th of this month, just a couple days ago, they dumped in another $22 million into their campaign kitty, their war chest. That now brings the industry's contributions to the No on 61 side to $109 million. $109 million. That's 109.
Now, Garry, I want you to just...
That breaks, by the way, that breaks all records. As you know, California is an initiative state, and we have been since the early 1900s. This breaks all records in California history for either the no or the yes side on any single initiative. They've now made history.
Do you think they're doing that because it is good for them? Do you think that they're doing that because they're just, or it's a middling thing? Or do you think that they're spending record-breaking amounts of money because they're scared and they know that this proposition is going to expose them for the greed-based system that we currently reside in?
Let me respond in two different ways. First of all, one of the arguments that Big Pharma has made against Prop 61 is that instead of lowering drug prices, it would actually raise drug prices. So that's why they're spending $109 million to beat it, because they think it could actually raise drug prices and bolster their profits. Obviously, that's ridiculous. All you have to do to really know why they're freaked out by Prop 61 is read their own industry literature. There is a publication called Pharmaceutical Executive, which, as you can probably tell by the name, goes to the executives of drug companies, that has gone apoplectic on Prop 61 and, in fact, has called it, this is their terminology, ground zero, quote unquote, in the national fight against high drug prices, and has warned their members, the drug industry companies themselves, that if Prop 61 passes and California achieves lower drug prices, it will be, again in their terms, a pricing disaster, quote unquote, for the entire U.S. drug industry. So their self-interest in this is pretty obvious. The interesting thing, Alex, about the initial dump of money, the $22 million that they just put in again this week to bring them up to the 109 total, is that it comes very late in the campaign. It comes with less than 3 months remaining in the campaign. The polling here on Prop 61, despite the avalanche of ads that they have funded against Prop 69, telling every lie in the book, using every distortion that the human mind can come up with, is that they are now panicked because the numbers are not moving in their direction. We are doing internal polling, obviously. The field poll, which is pretty much the premier poll in California, as you know, showed just three or 4 weeks ago that they have not raised the no vote even into the 20s at that point in time. Our own internal polling shows that they have not reached out of the 20s on the no side. So despite the fact that they are dominating the airwaves with an unprecedented amount of money, there is intrinsic resistance among the voters of California who are sick and tired of high drug prices, sick and tired of the avarice and the arrogance of the drug companies, and they understand that this no campaign is fully funded by the drug companies themselves, and it is their own self-interest they are protecting. It is not the interests of the consuming public in the interest of lower drug prices.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is, I can make it kind of like my take is all of that is true, and it's just true that people hate the drug corporations. They hate them right now. They see them do despicable things like price cancer drugs and Hep C drugs out of the so that people can't afford them. Raise the price of EpiPen so that children with peanut allergies might die because they can't afford this medical technology that we, the taxpayers, paid for. People are sick and tired of seeing these commercials on television every time you're just trying to watch the World Series or a football game, and you're just inundated with these pharmaceutical commercials. If they have the money to run wall-to-wall advertisements like that, you know, maybe they could not have raised prices 5,000%. The public is over it. They're sick and tired of pharma getting away with whatever they want, and the fight back is in full force. And I see Yes on 61 as the tip of the spear of this fight back. And Garry, yeson61.com. People can go there and learn more about it. They can donate. They can figure out how they can fight. This is a California initiative, but this is so much bigger than California. I mean, California is, I think, the 6th largest economy in the world. So what happens in California has global ramifications. But this is also, this is going to start a wave of fighting back against pharma. And that what you just quoted from their industry magazine, that's what they're scared of, right? What starts in California does not stop in California. This will be just the beginning of a really systematic change on drug prices.
You're exactly right, Alex. And unlike Las Vegas, what happens in California does not stay in California. It moves east. That was true all the way back to the catalytic converter, which California was the first state to mandate the catalytic converter in automobiles to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases and smog. And, of course, the automobile companies came in here and fought it tooth and nail, threatened that if we passed this and if we made this mandate on cars, that Ford wouldn't sell cars here anymore, that Chevy wouldn't sell cars here anymore, Buick would pull out of the California market. And, of course, none of that happened, and the catalytic converter is now standard equipment on every automobile sold in the United States of America. So they are concerned that if this passes in California, every other state is going to demand the same low price point that California gets. Why would they not? So they view this as a shockwave that will roll through the country if the voters of California pass Prop 61 on November 8th. That's why they're spending $109 million to try to beat it. One of their other arguments, by the way, as you know, Prop 61 only deals with drugs that are purchased directly by the state of California. Because we're such a big state, that's a lot of drugs. We spend about $4.2 billion per year in taxpayer funds buying drugs for our state healthcare programs, for our state university system, the prison system, et cetera, et cetera. So one of their arguments that they're using with the public is that they're concerned that it doesn't cover enough people, that not every drug transaction would be covered, and it therefore wouldn't provide lower drug prices to enough people. I mean, when you think about it, that is about as ludicrous as the NRA opposing an assault weapons ban because it doesn't cover enough different kinds of assault weapons. It's totally self-serving. It's ludicrous on the face of it. People have figured it out, and I think we're going to win this thing on November 8th, and we're going to hit the the drug companies over the head with a big fat 2x4 that will have ramifications and reverberations throughout the United States of America.
And around the globe. Garry South, the lead strategist on Yes on 61. You can find out more, and I hope you do find out more. Go to yeson61.com. If you're in California, remember, or you have family or friends in California, let them know this is a critical proposition. Yes on Proposition 61 on November 8th. Yes on 61. This is a huge first step in taking on the pharmaceutical corporations. And Garry, I'm really happy that you're the lead strategist there. I'm confident. I'm trying not to be overly optimistic, but I feel like we're in a good position. Thank you so much for joining us on the Thom Hartmann program.
Thank you for having me on, and thanks again for Social Security Works' endorsement of Prop 61. It's been a very major boost to the campaign.
Thanks, Garry. You're listening to the Thom Hartmann program, and we are going to be right back with the news of the day. Again, I just want to point out what happens in California as the sixth largest economy in the world has global ramifications. Proposition 61 is a very, very good first step in the fight back against pharmaceutical corporation profiteering. You're listening to the Thom Hartmann program. I'm Alex Lawson, filling in for Thom, and we will be right back.